under the Good morning, sunshines, or hello, sunshines, I should say, if you're not watching this in the morning. That's what I say every morning, and it really annoys my not morning person husband. So if you're not a morning person out there, sorry to be annoying. I recently posted our baby shower hauls that we had, and as I am nearing 34 weeks, we're getting to the end, I also want to do a video before mom life takes over, and I probably forget over the years, of how we found out we're pregnant. So I'll go through that. If I have any videos or things still left over, I'll put them in here. And then I also wanted to just kind of do an all things pregnancy up to date. Anything I've been doing to kind of help with inflammation while being pregnant, some of the workout programs that I've done to help stay active, those kinds of things. So this is just going to be a tell-all pregnancy vlog, if you will. I am in my gym clothes because I'm about to go to the gym after this. But to start us off, we're gonna go over how we found out we were pregnant. So my husband and I, we are a year apart. So he's a year younger than me. He was doing grad school when we got married, or I should say we got married, then he started grad school. So that was 2 years, and then now he's in his residency program and he's finishing that up. And we always said, you know, we live in Atlanta, it's very pricey here. We really wanna have 2 incomes. I would have loved to have kids even younger if it was possible, but it just, you know, we don't want to add to the stress of living in a very expensive city and him being in school and me working and those kinds of things. So we wanted to wait until he was at least done with grad school. Residency is something that is a paid position. It's not much, but something is better than nothing. So when he got into that, that was when we kind of started having the discussion. Okay, we really want 3 kids. You need a little time in between each so that I can recover and have just the best possible pregnancies possible and postpartum experiences possible, which obviously we haven't gotten there yet, but working on it. And so we finally kind of had that discussion this past summer, so summer of 2025. That was when I was like, I really want to have kids. And if you don't know, I have 2 older siblings and they are much older than me. So all of my life, it's kind of been like catch up, you know, they met their significant others, they went to college, they got married. My brother now has 3 kids, a 4th on the way. And so me being so much younger, I was kind of like, hold on guys, I'm not old enough to do these things yet. So I was really excited. My husband loves kids and couldn't wait to have his own. So once he started residency and we felt good, we were like, okay, we don't want to put too much stress on it. We won't try with all the tracking and things like that, but we just will stop trying to prevent in any way. So a couple months passed. And then finally in August, I was like, I think we should just like actually try. That way if something is wrong, we're both pretty healthy people, but if something is wrong, healthy people have issues all the time trying to get pregnant. I would just rather know now while we are young and have time to figure it out than not know. So that was when we were like, okay, let's start trying. And we ended up getting pregnant the first go around. How I figured it out, it was very end of August going into September. If you didn't know, I danced for the Clemson Rally Cats all 4 years of college, best 4 years of my life. But they do an alumni game every year where we do a little performance during one of the quarter breaks. So we had planned a trip to go up to Clemson, go see a football game with a couple of friends. And leading up to that trip, I had just noticed some changes, especially here. The girls were very swollen, which that can happen around my time of the month. So I tried not to overthink it too much and get too excited. My biggest tell was how hungry I was. I'm someone like I don't usually eat breakfast. If I do eat breakfast and I eat something very small for lunch, like that kind of thing. And I was eating things that usually I know would fill me and satisfy me. And I was not satisfied after. I was like, I'm still hungry. Or 20 minutes later, a meal that would last me hours as far as satiating my hunger, I would be hungry again. So I was like, this is a little weird for me. I'm not usually like this. And then also just noticing a little bit more fatigue, not necessarily brain fog, but I'm a very active person and just the morale was low in terms of being active. I still was, but I was having to like drag myself to the gym when it was something that I usually really look forward to. That being said, I did mention something to my husband when we were going to Clemson. I said, hey, I don't think I'm gonna like get any drinks or anything when we're at the game, because they had just started selling alcohol in the stands and stuff. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna drink or anything. I kind of have an inkling that maybe we did get pregnant this first go round, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. So the whole time I was home, we stayed with my parents. I didn't drink, and that tipped my mom off night 1 because my mom offered us margaritas for me and my friend, and I love margaritas. I never say no to a margarita, and I did say no that time. So that tipped her off immediately. She said, after the fact, said no to that, and then went to the game on Saturday, went to tailgates, all of that, no alcohol, but was very hungry. And my husband could tell the difference because I was eating like giant full meals multiple times. Like I would eat chicken tenders and french fries, and I'd have a whole bagel sandwich, and those were just big hearty meals that I was eating multiple of throughout the day, where he was like, yeah, you don't usually, that's off for you. Like I don't usually finish the food, or if I do, I'm full for a long time. So we actually had to drive separate up there. And I knew I was going to be home a little bit earlier, so I came home Sunday and I immediately went and grabbed a pregnancy test, made a little video of it, and took it, and it changed so quick, saying that we were pregnant, which was just so exciting. I tried to get my husband's reaction. It wasn't much of a reaction. I filmed him coming in, and I'll attach the video in here, but he was very confused and tipped off right away when he saw the camera, because I was trying to hide the camera but still get a good angle, and he walked in and saw it immediately, and he was sketched out and didn't even like look down. But I'll throw that video in here because it was still really funny and just something memorable that I'm glad, if you're thinking about recording your reactions, whatever it may be, do it. It's just so fun when you do finally get the yes, or you have the yes, even if it was expected. It's just so fun to have the memory and look back on, especially when it's your first, because it's the start of your family at the end of the day. This is our front door, and I'm unpacking real fast right now, but I think we're just gonna sit right here for when he walks in, and we're gonna clear everything off of here so that it's hopefully the first thing he sees. But let's do it.
So? No way. Wait, are you for real?
Yeah. I wasn't crazy on the other one.
I saw the camera, I knew it.
Darn it! I didn't know where to hide it.
Were you serious?
Yeah. I was literally like shaking when I took it. Yay! I was gonna go over to get you a gift. I didn't realize everything was like boy and girl themed.
Wow.
Yay! You're gonna be a dad.
I know, I'm excited.
I told you I thought I was.
I knew it. So this is for later when 5 years from now. When I walked in, I saw the camera, I knew it. I knew when I walked in because you had it probably right at the door.
You took forever to come inside. I was looking at your location. I was like, where is he?
I had a feeling you were going to take him right when you got home.
I did. So we did find out very early. That was about, I believe, 6 weeks is what it would have been, maybe 5. And we did wait. I really wanted to wait just because I am a pessimist, to say the least, and really didn't want anything to happen. But it was just getting a little bit weird with friends and family, like super close friends and especially family, who were like, we should tell people, especially because we're going to be seeing family while I'm still in the first trimester. So we did tell our immediate family members. We did not tell anyone that was not immediate family, but they had hilarious reactions. So, and my mom did say, she was like, I knew, I had an inkling because you turned down a margarita. She's like, you never turned down a margarita. I was like, okay, valid point, Mom. Probably was a dead giveaway for sure. But I will insert some of those reaction videos.
Snoopy's coming.
Rach.
What is wrong? She's not wearing your glasses. She's what? What? Oh my gosh.
Mom. We're pregnant, Mom. Goober. Mom can't read it.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Their reaction.
Are you lying? Is she pregnant? Are you lying?
I'm serious.
Are you lying? Is she pregnant? Is it real?
Yes, it's real.
I'm gonna be a Molly.
Yeah, bro, that's exactly what I thought.
Let's go. Let's go.
Family and friends just made that so sweet for us. So that was so much fun. I am also someone who hates being the center of attention. Like when people are staring at me, I can definitely handle it. I've been in dance, I work in sales, so I can hide it, but you would know if you were me because I will sweat from the nerves, but up here I can look completely normal. So then it brought up the discussion of, are we going to do a gender reveal, gender test? I think that's called the NIPT test is what it's called, for like the early gender testing, which you can do as early as like 8 weeks. We did not want to do that testing. Number one, it's expensive if your insurance doesn't cover it. I don't even know if ours did or not. We didn't really ask, but it's something where they test for everything. It's not just gender. It's the likelihood that anything could be wrong with your baby, spina bifida, Down syndrome, anything like that. And it's more a gauge of like, yes, this is very likely, or it could be like a 30% chance, but the 30% sounds really big in your brain, and really that's such a small amount and your baby could be completely fine. And so we were just like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We really just want to enjoy the pregnancy and not have added stress throughout it, because that's also not good for the baby. So my sister-in-law is a doula, and if you don't follow her or subscribe to her, she's Winding Row Cottage, I believe it is what her username is, but I'll tag her in here as well because you should follow her videos. She is a doula, and she told us a couple of different at-home blood tests that you could do. So I think we ended up doing the Sneak Peek one, but the Peekaboo is another option. And we got that to figure out the results, because that just shows you gender and it is a blood test. So we got the Sneak Peek, did the gender results, I think around 10 weeks, I want to say. It was between like 10 and 12. And I did not want to do a gender reveal, but my sister-in-law and them wanted to do a gender reveal, and it turned into a whole thing. And so we ended up planning one with our families, but first we did a smaller one with just our parents, so my in-laws and my parents. We found out while my in-laws were visiting, and she wanted to do something, and so we just went and got golf balls. My husband's a golfer. They literally sell them at Walmart day of. So she went and bought us some golf balls, and one of my besties, Rachel, who lives down the hall, came over, and we gave her the email and trusted her with the results. And I was like, just read the results and put whichever golf ball down in front of him, and that's what we're gonna do. And I texted my parents, and they literally drove down the couple hours immediately, and it was just very last minute, but super fun. We did it right outside our apartments, and he just hit a golf ball, and we are having a baby girl. And I'll insert that in the next slide as well, so you can see our gender reveal, our first gender reveal, I should say.
I'm your Aunt Rachel, and I know what you are.
I'm your mom, and I think you're a girl.
I'm your dad, and I think you're a boy.
I'm your pops, and I know that you're a boy.
I'm your Lolly, and I think you're a girl. I'm your Nona, and I think you're a girl.
I'm your Pappy, and I also think you're a girl.
I'm Uncle May, and I think you're going to be a boy.
I'm your Uncle Brock, and I think it's going to be a girl.
Hi, I'm Clarissa, your work bestie. I feel like all the signs are pointing that it's going to be a boy first, but I don't know why, I'm just feeling like it's going to be a girl. And Logan thinks that it's going to be a boy.
Hi, I'm Courtney, Mason's aunt, and I am Team Pink. We need another ballerina in the family.
So I'm your great Uncle Cord. I believe you're a little girl.
Hi, I'm your cousin Claire, and I think you're going to be a girl. I'm your favorite cousin Zach, and I think you're going to be a girl.
Don't tell me it's a girl.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a girl!
Yeah, it is.
Oh Lord, have mercy! It's a girl!
Hampton, what do you think Sophia's having?
Boy.
What do you think Rachel's having?
Girl. 100%.
So Rachel a girl? 100%.
100%.
She's got all boys.
It's the probability. It's got to even out.
Okay.
Am I right? It's not looking good.
Okay. Sophie a boy, Rachel a girl. Alright. The icing tells you what they're having. This This is the Butler kid.
So both girls?
2 girls!
Okay. 50%.
3. Oh, we have to do 2 cuts.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Alright, ready?
Look at the boy.
Yeah.
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 Alright. Ready?
What is it? It's
So yeah, that's pretty much the story of how we found out we were pregnant and the gender and all of the fun things. As far as symptoms I wanted to touch on, I honestly have been very blessed. I can't complain about my pregnancy. Pregnancy is hard, I will tell you that. But as far as like crazy symptoms, I've been pretty blessed. First trimester, definitely you're in the trenches, but I feel like it's worse for some and not for others. I was blessed in the sense of I did not have any like throwing up. I had a little bit of nausea here and there, but never threw up. I did have a lot of aversions and my taste buds were just weird. Things that I would crave differently, or like things I never really usually want, I would want. For example, my coffees. I love like maple, honey, cinnamon, that kind of thing in my coffee. And then I was craving mocha, which if you know, a mocha is more like a chocolate coffee, which I never craved that before. And in the very beginning, I didn't even want coffee in general. So that was something that was very odd for me. The food aversions were just like weird. My biggest symptom in the first trimester was hunger and then exhaustion. I was so tired and it was so frustrating for me because I work a very fast-paced job and I, again, am very active. So it was really hard to stay active, but I told myself and my husband, I said, you have permission to yell at me, drag me to the gym if you have to. I want to be active during this pregnancy. And so he was very helpful with me in that. I continued my regular routine throughout the whole first trimester, which I think really helped keep me sane too. Like I'm glad I did push through the exhaustion, go to the gym, do what you're capable of. Fast forward to second trimester, I got that burst of energy again and it was amazing while it lasted. Unfortunately, after the second trimester, right when I hit the third trimester, it started going downhill a little bit. Right now, I am just tired again, a lot of brain fog. I actually have a bump now. I really didn't start showing until probably, I would say 26 weeks was when you could really tell. And now, of course, you can continue to tell, but the bigger I get, the more tired I get. It gets harder for sure. The brain fog is real. The emotions are real. I really didn't have horrible hormones until the third trimester either. And now I feel like I can always cry for no reason whatsoever. And I'm sure my husband can tell you that too. But the third trimester is definitely a lot harder and getting closer to labor. As far as workouts and what I've been doing, I really want to complete my personal training certification, and that's something I do plan on doing after we have the baby. In the meantime, I'm a huge fan of Brinley Joyner. If you don't follow her, I have followed her since the very beginning, like COVID times, all of it throughout her whole journey. And she actually joined the Form team. So if you don't have the app Form, it is a personal training app and they have a trainer for everything. Brinley does the gym workouts if you're using gym equipment. They have Pilates, they have prenatal Pilates, they have prenatal gym now that Brinley also does. They have follow along workouts with Sammy and Sammy Clark. So they just have everything for everyone, and we are the only ones who live in Georgia, so it's not only been amazing to have during pregnancy, but I also had it prior to getting pregnant and would use it anytime I traveled. Even when I wasn't traveling, all the workout plans are in there for you. They have meal plans. It's just a phenomenal app. I can't recommend it enough to anyone, especially if you're struggling to figure out what to do in the gym. It just plans everything for you, and I love a good follow along workout where it can be brainless at times. So I followed along the regular just strength workouts with dumbbells for the first trimester. Didn't really change much other than trying to focus a little bit less on the ab exercises or just changing the ab exercises to be more pregnancy friendly. Same thing for most of the second trimester. And then within that second trimester, Brinley actually came out with a gym pregnancy workout program. So I started doing her workouts for that, and it's separated by trimesters as well. So now I'm in the third trimester section, and that's where you kind of start loosening up on the workouts a little bit. They're a little bit shorter, maybe lifting a little bit lighter in some cases, but especially just prepping and being aware of your rest. You have more rest days, active rest days where you're just walking or just resting because your body needs to be able to relax and not tense like it does when you're working out as you get near to labor. So that's been an adjustment for me. The whole slowing down has just been an adjustment for me because I'm a very go person. So I am so happy that I have stayed active throughout my entire pregnancy, and I feel like that's really helped me a lot throughout it. Even if it was just getting my 10,000 steps in a day, that is so much more than a lot of people do, and it will make you feel like you accomplished something and that it was worth it, and you're doing something good not only for yourself but for your baby as well. So speaking of the gym, I'm actually gonna go get my workout in, and after that I will show my dry brushing routine. I have been dry brushing immediately since I found out I was pregnant, all day, every day. I do it every single day. I may skip one day every now and then, but I stayed very diligent with the dry brushing, and it actually helped so much, I believe. I can't recommend it enough. Even if you're not pregnant, I wish it's something I had implemented sooner rather than later, because I am going to continue it afterwards for sure. But I'll go through my dry brushing routine and the oils that I use on my belly, and just kind of talk about some other things that have been helpful throughout my pregnancy as well. This is also my workout fit for the day. It's this little like onesie romper. The only thing is these are a little bit short. I wish they had like an extra inch on them just because they ride up, especially as the bump grows. But it is the stretchiest thing ever. Highly recommend. It's so comfortable. Other downside is anytime you have to pee, which we all know is all the time, you have to take the whole thing off. So that is a little bit unfortunate, but it's super cute and comfy for workouts. So definitely recommend, especially if you're pregnant, and you'll be able to use it afterwards because it's so stretchy. Now for dry brushing, just a disclaimer, I am not like certified esthetician or anything like that, but I have watched a lot of videos on it. Gracie Norton is a great resource for it. Basically what dry brushing is it's to help with lymphatic drainage, which of course in turn is going to help with swelling, especially during pregnancy, and water retention. It also is pretty much known to help with preventing, hopefully, most likely, any stretch marks, and just exfoliating the skin, making sure new skin's constantly regenerating, that kind of thing. So I have two different dry brushes. This is the first one, if you can see it. And you can get a dry brush at TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I got mine at Marshalls. This one is for your body. You can get them with a handle too if you prefer that, but this one's just easier to me. So you use this on your arms, your legs, very gently on your tummy if you want to. You can also do your boobs if you get stretch marks there. I don't think I really would. I do it there just a little bit, but not very much. I don't know if it's enough to actually make a difference on it. But I've done this religiously since the first trimester, and it's something I'm going to continue to do even afterwards. I just won't do it every single day. Like right now I do it every day without fail, just because your swelling is so much more when you're pregnant. But I think typically as long as you do it like 3 to 4 times a week, you're still going to see results with it. So I'm going to continue that after pregnancy. And then for your face, you want a smaller, softer bristle brush. So this is my face one. And basically how this works is you dry brush before you want to shower. So I usually do it anytime after I work out. Once I get back from the gym, I do my dry brushing, I shower, and then after you shower is when you want to moisturize. So for moisturizers, I like to use the brand, I don't know how to say it. I think it's Osea, the OSEA brand. I love their products because it's pretty clean, like non-toxic, nothing crazy in there. But my sister-in-law, again, shout out to her, make sure you go follow all of her stuff, but her niche is kind of like homesteading and just making everything from scratch and non-toxic. And one of the perks of that is she knows how to make her own beef tallow, which if you don't know, beef tallow is basically a non-toxic option made out of like fat, lard. And she makes it herself, so it doesn't have anything added in there. It is literally just pure tallow, and she makes it for me. So she also makes it for my mom too, but she gives it to us in these jars, and you can refrigerate it. I usually refrigerate mine. This one is not, because it's a little bit easier to spread out when you're doing it on your body. So the one I use on my face, I'll keep in the fridge just so it's nice and cool, and then the one on my body, I usually don't. But it's very creamy, just like lotion. So after you do your dry brushing, get in the shower, get out, dry off, you use your lotion of choice, beef tallow if you use beef tallow, and you put it all over the areas that you just dry brushed. As for the belly area, of course you want to try and prevent stretch marks. So far, like I said, I'm almost 34 weeks and I haven't had any stretch marks. Again, this could be genetics, it could be whatever, but a big part of stretch marks is not having exfoliated, moisturized skin. So I definitely recommend doing something. It doesn't guarantee you won't get stretch marks, but it definitely will help. And the less toxins, the better, of course, because everything is seeping in, especially through the belly. So very clean things. You could use pure coconut oil, avocado oil, whatever. I love this Pure Mama brand. It's the belly oil from them, and literally all it is rosehip, vitamin E, almond oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. So that's all it is. It is very minimal ingredients. There's nothing crazy in here. Definitely recommend this one. You can do it twice a day, but it says you can do it on the girls as well as on your bump. So let's see if you can see it. There we go. That's the brand. This one's a little bit thicker, so of course I mix it with Centella oil is the other one that I use. This one's thinner, so if you want to just use one that's not going to be super oily on your tummy and dries really easily, this one definitely does. But I've heard great things from all the pregnant ladies out there, all the mamas saying this is like their go-to to die for. I know people also put this on their face. For me personally, it didn't work well for my face. It's supposed to help with like discoloration or redness and stuff, but I'm somebody who's prone to acne, specifically cystic acne, and this just didn't mix well with my skin, unfortunately, but it's been fine on the belly area. So that is my routine. As far as how to dry brush, again, I'm not an expert, but basically what you want to do is open up your lymph nodes. So anywhere you have your main areas of lymph nodes, which would be like your armpits, behind your knees, up here in the groin area, you basically want to go down, put your leg up, go down to the first area and press in 3 times on the lymph node, and that's supposed to open it. You do the same thing here, 1, 2, 3, and then after that you would take your dry brush and you want to brush everything up towards that lymph node. So I start at the top of the leg, I go a couple of times around the whole top of the leg towards that groin lymph node, then you go towards the bottom and you start from the top of the foot and brush up towards the back of the knee where that second lymph node is, and then I do again going all the way, big strokes to the top of that lymph node. Same thing for your arm. For the arm, you do 1, 2, 3 in the armpit. I start at the bottom part, go around, do the top part, and then do the whole arm. Overall, this usually takes me anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, depending how thorough I'm gonna be. Belly is something where you want blood flow. That's the goal there. So I won't always necessarily use my brush, just making sure I'm rubbing my belly a lot, stimulating blood flow. If I do use the brush, just very, very lightly brush downwards towards that pelvis area where those lymph nodes are. Nothing crazy. Same thing for the breast area. You want to brush it around and kind of towards a lymph node of some sort. Now, as for your face, you also have lymph nodes in your face. This one I started doing a little bit later, so I wish I had done it a little sooner because I do feel like I have some swelling in my face for sure. I'm swelling. There's only so much you can do to prevent swelling in the 3rd trimester, especially because you are going to gain weight no matter what. I've gained very minimal weight, fortunately, so my swelling hasn't been horrible, but it's just part of it. I know it'll go away after birth, so it's fine. You can't completely stay like you were. Well, I say most of the time. You won't stay exactly like your body was and just have a bump. That's not normal. We want a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy, healthy body. But you have lymph nodes down here as well as back here. You also have a couple lymph nodes on your face. I'm not as good at this one, but I believe they're up here. Or no, nose area. That's where they are. Gracie Norton's the better one to go to for this. Like I said, I've been doing the face one for not as long, and I literally have to pull her video up every time I do the face one. I do think it helps. I just wish I had started it sooner, especially down here for that drainage. I feel like it helped a lot, and that's the area I focus on, so I don't really do as much around here just because I feel like that's all stayed pretty normal for me. This one I'm still experimenting with. I want to stay more consistent with it, and I'm going to keep doing it, especially through the end of pregnancy. But this is one where, like, after pregnancy, I kind of want to more experiment with it and like see if there's other things. I know you can use a gua sha if you prefer that. I've done that one before and I don't really like it. And there's also a new, I don't know if it's technically considered a dry brush, but it is like a brush and it has like really soft bristles, but it's really dense. So it's more like a gua sha in the sense of it's dense, like a harder surface to use for the lymphatic drainage rather than like a brush, like a rougher brush like that. But it's softer bristles. So I have seen that, and a lot of pregnant people use that for pregnancy nose. I don't feel like I've gotten pregnancy nose. Well, let me know in the comments if I have or not. But that is my dry brush routine, and I think it has worked great for me. Again, you are going to gain weight throughout your pregnancy. As long as you're getting a healthy amount, that is all that matters. But with weight gain is going to come everything getting bigger. My thighs are bigger, my arms are bigger, and that's just how it is. My boobs are definitely bigger because I was an itty bitty titty committee person before, and let me tell you, that's one thing I really hope goes away after. This has just solidified. I do not want a boob job after pregnancy, which I know is a hot take, but it is inconvenient having boobs, especially when you're active. That might be a hot take, but that's mine. So I know, especially once your milk supply comes in, they only get bigger, but then as you wean off, they're supposed to go back down. Baby kind of sucks them out of you is what I hear. That's what I'm hoping for. Sorry, husband. I don't like having boobs very much, but I'm gonna go take a shower and do all of my dry brushing behind the scenes because typically it's best to do it without your clothes on. This is my setup on the floor for now. I have Sydney Adams pulled up and I'm about to put on a YouTube video and knock out some dreadful thank you notes. I am so grateful for each and every one of you that attended our baby showers, got us gifts, but just like wedding season, getting the gifts is so fun. Writing the thank you notes, not so much. I've been trying to do a few every day. My goal is to be done by the end of this weekend. We'll see if that happens, but I did get really cute, like just pack of thank you notes from Amazon, and I think they're super cute. They have little baby clothes on them. We're having a girl if you didn't know, but I think that's cute. And then they come with pink envelopes, and instead of having to lick them, they have the little thank you stickers to close them, and the inside has a print on it too. But they're pretty cheap and affordable. I think the whole pack was like $20 something, so I think that's pretty good. I did have to go buy stamps today, and stamps are stupidly expensive. I don't know who did that, but it's annoying. And you have to get the forever stamps or they can like expire or whatnot. Also, I went to Walgreens to go get these, and they keep them at the cash register. So I walked up to the girl and I'm like, first of all, she's on FaceTime. While she's at work at the cash register, I'm like, that's not very professional, but okay. I was like, hey, do you guys have postage stamps? She's like, no. I know good and well they do because I looked it up. She was like, no. I was like, you don't have stamps? She's like, oh, we have stamps. She's like, we just don't have postage stamps. I was like, stamps to mail a letter, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm gonna just leave that there. That's all I have to say. But let's get to writing and see how many we can knock out today. I think this is going to be my last of the thank you notes for today because my hand hurts, to say the least. But let's see how many we've got done. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, we might have to do one more just so it's 10 and it's even. But we're almost there. Friends and family, if you see this, if you're immediate family, you're getting yours last. I'm doing all of the people who attended our baby showers that are like family friends first, or like my in-laws first. That way my immediate family, I'll use whatever I have left over. So if I run out of these thank you notes, I have other ones that I can use. So sorry guys. I also know those ones are going to take me long because I do try and personalize all of them, but the family ones I know I'm going to personalize more and they're going to be longer, so they're going to take me longer to do. So I want to make sure I give myself the brain power and the time to like do a thoughtful thank you note for all of the family members, because they really got us so much, especially some of our bigger gifts, like my mom and Mason's mom. So I'm gonna go put these in the mail and hopefully they get out to our friends soon. Alrighty, it's getting late, so I think we're going to round off the vlog here. We did lots of things. I do need to paint my nails because I have a wedding in a couple of days that I am in, so I need to make sure I'm put together for that. But if you have any questions that you want answered, or suggestions, tips, whatever, I would love to see them in the comments. More videos you want to see. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to round it out with a funny story from this morning. So I talk about swallowing and all the things with pregnancy, but one thing that people seem to never learn, I will say most people are very terrified to ask me if I'm pregnant, even though it's very evident now that I am. They still won't ask. They'll just stare at the bump and you have to just say, yes, I'm pregnant. But today at work, first thing in the morning, I went to this office before it opened. If you don't know, I work in sales, and I'm talking to the person at the front desk, and she was like, I never would have known you were pregnant. I didn't even look at your bump, but I can tell by your face. And I was like, oh. She said, you know how people get pregnancy face? Which in my head, you know what pregnancy face, it's when it's so swollen, all of your features are swollen, your lips, your nose, your everything, your face is just fat. And she's like, well, your face isn't fat though. You just, you know, you have pregnancy face. And I was like, she was trying to backtrack it. I think she was trying to say pregnancy glow, and that's what came out, which if that's the case, I appreciate it. But otherwise, there are just things where I'm like, people really need to learn what, like, just stick with congratulations. Congratulations, you look great. That's all you gotta say. Move on. But some people really stick their foot in their mouth when they talk about pregnancy, and it's just so funny to watch them try and backtrack that. But anywho, that was a funny story. Like, comment, subscribe. I am trying to stay as consistent as possible with these, so hopefully the next video we have up will be some nesting and getting ready, because this will be my last weekend traveling until the baby comes, and I'm so excited and counting down the weeks, so I can't wait to count down the weeks with y'all. See you in the next one.
Where the shadows play, the wind hums songs at the break of day. Whispering pines, secrets untold, carrying tales only the forest holds. Moonlight spills through the velvet dark, etching patterns, leaving its mark. The roots stretch deep, the earth